Hi guys, teacher Eduardo again from Smart People English School. Okay, well today's topic of how to prepare a class is going to be on simple present. Now, we're going to be using the same format, the start of the class, the end of the class, high points, picking up those high moments in the class and bringing the students down to low points, which are very, very, very important in the class to keeping that concentration going while the class is going. Something very important, guys, I would like to please ask you guys if you guys could please help us to subscribe and give like to the video, obviously if you like it, and the little bell. Press the bell, that way you guys can be tuned in to our videos. Now, usually for simple present, its main focus is on verbs. What we usually do to start picking up the pace, we can usually start presenting verbs. For example here, sleep, make, clean, study. We usually, if you're in the presential classes, have them say the verb, have them identify it. One or two students will ask you, teacher, how do you say escribir, write, so forth. Or you can stick them up on the board. Students can stand up one by one. If you're working with kids, you can have them sit down in the correct position, and the one that sits in the correct position can stand up and write the verb, right? There are many ways to engage the students into the class or get them back tuned in. Now, with the verbs, using the verbs, what simple present usually asks for is for you to be able to use the S and the no S and the do and the doesn't. Again, what I usually start doing is I'll use I and I'll use maybe my parents. Why? Because in this part, you usually don't use the S on the verb. Now, remember, my main focus is on the students that are barely starting with English. We usually give the classes in English. So, making it as simple as possible gives them confidence and makes them participate more. Again, we have that space in between the two sentences where I can present, in this case, I and my parents. When it comes to negative, it will be don't. Remember, you can use different markers so you can highlight the negative. Don't. And here, we don't use S with I and plural. Now, after that, I'll go to I will go to a name that does involve S. In this case, Sandy or Julio. And here, I would involve the S on the verb, right? The S on the verb. And then I'll put my complement. If the book that you're working with asks you to present simple present and positive, present it positive, negative, or interrogative. When you work with the verbs, you can get a really high point there because they're really engaged. At a height like this, and then presenting, the higher you get them engaged in the class, with that hee or ha or yelling out the answers, it's better because after the presentation, after the warm-up, you're going to do your presentation and you're going to do your drills in your book. So if you can do a presentation at a midterm between high and low, and you can do a presentation here, it will be great. From here, like I said earlier, positive, negative, or interrogative, you would go directly to your book. And your book, you will probably come down to a mid area after you start working with your exercises in your book and in your student's book. I know some teachers don't use the student's book, but there are some institutes where the coordinator or the director or the principal says, no, I need you to fill out all the books. All right, well, it all depends on what kind of system you guys have or how much freedom the teacher has. Exactly after this, After the workbook, you probably have low points. You want to get them back up to a high point. Right on the high point, what you could do is, what I would do is I'd put the verbs on the floor, have them stand up, choose those verbs, and have them make sentences in positive or negative, depending what the book asks for. That way they can start practicing the S and the no S, the do and the don't, right? The common mistake students make here is they forget to write the S. Again, what you could do is just circle the verb, don't erase your presentation, have the students go back, identify it. Another common mistake that they have is I don't to school. They forget to write the verb. I don't what to school. Or if they want to say something like I don't do the homework, they confuse the do and the do. What I usually do in that case, I do present it in my presentation. That way I can get that off the chart right away, because I know they're going to make that mistake in the book, and all the books will always put situations with do, with don't, and do together, because they want the student to understand that do is an auxiliary, or it could be a verb. Okay guys, well, I'm trying to make this video as short as possible. I hope you guys liked it. If you have any comments, please write them down, and see you guys next time. Bye-bye.